around, but he just a jerk, you know what I mean? But it just made me basically strong on what to be and what not to be. And I never harvest that in my heart, but when I had my daughter, that basically just made me a stronger and better man.
You are now locked into the Point Makers podcast with the Davis brothers, Darren and Demetrius. Now, let's get into it.
Rest in peace, Ski. Yo, what's good in the hood, everybody? We back tonight with another episode of the the Point Makers podcast.
Yes,
with
sir.
the Davis brothers, Darren.
Demetrius.
And tonight, we welcome to the Point Makers podcast. Our special guest is a man we consider our family.
Yes, sir.
He is known as once being a member of the Hunters Point / San Francisco-based rap group NOH or Niggaz On High, which was produced and introduced by Black C and the RBL Posse. Here's our folks, our homeboy, our family, Reesematik.
What up, y'all?
What's up, man? What's going down?
Yeah, man. Welcome to the show, man. Glad you came out here with us this evening to sit down and rap and taste a little bit with us, man. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, basically, I'm from Frisco, California, 94124.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
415, just grew up in the city all my life, since the 70s. Grew up with a single mom, older brother, 4 sisters that I just recently found out I got. You know what I mean? Got a young brother.
Just found out you got.
Just found out. 2 in Augusta, Georgia, man, right up under me. Shout out to them, Stephanie and Denise, and also shout out to Tiff, because I know I don't say nothing about her. Yeah, say my name. So
You did now.
Yeah, I did.
You
So
did.
you know what I mean? Got a little brother Trey. R.I.P. to my big brother Jay Killer. You know what I mean?
Right.
2 years older than me.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? That's he was the Batman, I'm the Robin. So you know what I mean? He's dearly missed. Shout out to my strong mama, you know what I mean, who been there for us, And Pops was around, but he just a jerk, you know what I mean? But it just made me basically strong on what to be and what not to be. And I never harvest that in my heart, but when I had my daughter, that basically just made me a stronger and better man.
Right.
And
There's something about having a girl though that kind of
Yeah.
like changes you and shit, man. You know.
oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
give you a little bit something more to live for. I only got one daughter. Dub got 4 of them. But I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah. So, that's pretty much me, man. I know a lot of people, all different races. It's got pinstripes, polka dots, they know Reese. When Big Daddy Kane made Smooth Operator, he was talking about me. You know what I mean? Because I'm cooler than the polar bear's toenails, man. I got love for everybody, even the ones that hate. I'm going to kill them with kindness.
That's right.
That's a
So
good thing.
yeah, so it ain't really much to me. Y'all know me.
Yeah, we know
You know
you.
what I mean? So
We
it's
want
like
everybody else to know.
Yeah, I know that, but
Let's get a little introduction on who you is for those who don't know.
Yeah, so that's an introduction to me, man. I'm easygoing. I got flaws like any other man. I'm confident. I'm also a technician. I graduated, for HVAC. Do a little
Oh, okay.
electrician work. You know what I mean? I did the demolition. I'm also groundskeeping, lightweight carpentry, construction. Um, what else? I also do plumbing. I did
Okay.
pipe cutting, pipe fitting, residential.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, connecting them wires, man. And plus, I'm a dope MC.
That's right. There
Okay,
you go.
yeah, we do know about that.
So what was it like, man, growing up in the hood, Hunters Point, you know what I'm saying, as a young boy into your teenage years, and what schools did you go to, and what were some of the things that you did, as far as like hobbies or just to have fun and, some fond memories of, growing up in the neighborhood, things that you did in your era that probably are no longer done today.
Well, basically, when I was young, man, I liked a lot of animation. I like to read a lot. I like comic books. I like the, sports. I grew up in the era of Jordan, so always wanted the Jordan shoes. And, I just played dodgeball. All my friends was of all different races. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
was just kind of just like a cool guy that admire the actual, cats that was doing their thing. I was never envious because in the 80s, you know what I mean? I grew up amongst a lot of drug dealers. So when TikTok and all that was popular,
Mhm.
I just could remember being with my mom, my brother, and my sister, and one of my aunties, and I would see all the D-boys pull up, 4-finger
Okay,
rings.
hold on. Before you go further, right? Explain to them, because I think they probably talking about TikTok, the app. Explain to them what TikTok was.
Nah, that the app. We ain't talking about that.
We ain't talking about the
Mm-mm.
TikTok app. We talking about a spot that's on 3rd and Yosemite
Mm-hmm.
with the red clay. It was a burger stand, burger joint.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody went to get them famous sea burgers and
Yeah. For those
milkshakes.
who
You know what I
don't
mean?
know, it's where McDonald's is right now.
Where McDonald's is
TikTok
right
used to be
now.
McDonald's.
That's used to be the
Yeah.
TikTok I'm talking about.
Right.
So I grew up around a lot of D boys in the 80s.
Mhm.
Funk, you know, like I said, the donkey ropes,
Right.
4-finger rings.
Right.
Yeah, I had one of them.
You know what I
Well, I had
mean?
donkey rope, 4-finger ring with my name on it, Mickey D.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I grew up amongst. You know, the D boys on the Trues and Vogues,
Yeah.
mustard and mayonnaise, man, drop tops, Alpine stereos, the Kenwoods. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, that's what I grew up. I wanted to be a drug dealer, believe it or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But not to glorify it, but it was just that I was around. You know, they had all the girls with the Gucci braids and the, you know, big hoop earrings, and
Mhm.
they was doing their thing, like, you know, so I just knew that it wasn't for me eventually, you know, because as I got older, I tried to sell drugs and then it turned out right. It was just bad when the dope fiend tell you, like, son, this is a 5 and this is a 10.
Yeah.
So when I was selling him the actual product, it was a 10 instead of a 5. He was proceeding. He was like, if you want to be in this game, you gotta know what you're doing. After that, I never sold no cream no more.
You
And
cut
I
that
was
shit loose,
I
huh?
was like, yeah, it's ain't for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't for everybody.
Nah,
you know?
nah, not at all. So you know, you speaking on your drugs and dealer days, did you have any role models or anybody you looked up to, somebody that you might have patterned yourself after?
I would basically say, like, for as role models and just not really having a strong father figure, my strong father figure was my grandpa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Jesse James McNeely Sr. from
Mhm.
Louisiana, Baton Rouge. Him and my grandma came out from Louisiana when they was young,
Yeah,
like
my
18,
grandfather from
19.
New Orleans, so yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
had a strong grandfather.
they was real strong workers, man. My grandpa, man, he was amazing. That was my dad, man. And 18-wheeler driver for the post office on Evans
Mhm,
down
mhm.
there.
Yep.
Flawless record, never had an accident, taught other, you know, post office drivers, they love him. So when they found out that was my grandpa, they was like, he's a legend.
Right.
So when we would stay over at his house, and this is where I get my hustle from. I be tired a lot of time, but I get up and get it because I think about him. We'd smell that coffee upstairs because they lived in a big house. You smell that coffee, hear that wood creaking up there. We downstairs in one of the rooms laying down, like there go grandpa. And you hear him coming down the stairs. He open that door, turn the light on. I'm up, you up.
Yeah.
And that's where that hustle came from. So that was my role model because he was like, son, ain't nobody gonna do nothing for you. It ain't nothing like having your own.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's why I like making money, like, you know what I mean? You know, legally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind going to get to it. So I didn't really look up to a lot of people because when you find out a lot of the people that you looking up to, they terrible people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I
yes,
mean? Because
yes.
a lot of people see these so-called quote unquote successful people, they ugly people.
Yeah, you
Just
don't
because you're successful don't mean you're a good
yeah, you
person.
don't know what they did to obtain that dollar, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
Know how many
Exactly.
lives they might have destroyed just to get what they got.
And
So,
we
yeah.
just had a podcast with a young lady. Shout out to Reese Million.
Mhm.
Reese, her name is Reese too. But
Yeah, it is.
we just had a podcast with her saying the same things, you know, and it's funny and ironic that we kind of got similar beginnings. You know, our father was in our lives, but you know, him and mom's got divorced, so that limited how much he was in our lives after that. And you know, after he came back from, you know, military and everything, he was never the same person.
Mm,
Yeah.
So our grandfather was really that guy to us. And just
Yeah.
like you were saying. And
oh
so,
yeah.
you know, we saw our grandfather work, then retire, you know, and then he still was working in a sense because he was raising a family, which was us, and getting up, doing everything, taking my grandmother. My grandmother never even knew how to drive.
No, he drove her
He
everywhere.
drove her
Everywhere.
to work, from
Cherished
work,
her.
to
Church, all that
from
shit.
church. You know, and then my mother,
Shopping,
yeah.
dropping her off,
Well, no, our
damn.
moms
Yeah.
took her shopping most
Yeah,
of the time.
yeah, okay. Your
Yeah,
moms
moms
did
took
do
us
that.
most of the time. My mother took
Yeah,
her.
most of the time.
You know,
But my
but
big daddy never let
right.
Big Mama drive. Never.
But
Never.
and see, it's funny that he said Meeks that his grandfather's from Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
or you
That's
said
right.
Baton Rouge, correct?
Yeah, that's right by
Right.
New Orleans.
That's by New Orleans,
Right up the way.
so
Mhm.
and that's why we kind of have similar values as far as what manhood and fatherhood is.
No doubt.
You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
Because those were guys that were raised, and I'm pretty sure they probably close to the same age, maybe or something like that. And what they grew up in was total racism down there.
No
Yeah, for
doubt,
real.
no
You know what
doubt,
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
for
So they
sure.
came to California, and you say your grandfather went to the post office. Mine was at the shipyard
Mhm.
before he went to the hospital and was a dietitian in the hospital, right?
Mm,
But they came out here and they had that chip on their shoulder because they had faced so much racism down there
mm,
in the South. And back then California was better, probably not much better, but it was better.
Yeah.
You know
mm.
what I'm saying? They had the opportunity, and so that's how me and Meech can relate to what you're saying, because a lot of things that we know as far as what a man is supposed to be,
Hmm.
we actually learned from our grandfather
Yeah.
as well.
Like my grandfather, he taught me how to cook. I think I was in the fourth grade when he first sat me down and
Mm,
showed me how to get in the kitchen. My family from the South, majority of the men, they know how to cook. So, it
no
wasn't nothing
doubt.
for us not to get in the kitchen and cook. Now, every time we got like a barbecue or family function or something, me and Dub on the grill.
Yeah.
Every family function, me and Dub on the grill.
Every holiday we cook
We
a
on the
gumbo
grill.
or
Yeah.
That's what's up,
chipino
man.
or something
Something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
that
know,
that's
but
definitely what it's about, though. You know what I mean? Just having that value. And my grandma was a nurse.
right,
She
right,
worked at General Hospital, so
okay,
just being around that greatness, like you know, what I mean, they had motorhomes, they had Cadillacs,
right.
Lincolns.
Yeah.
They had it going on in front of the crib. Everybody used to come to their house. They even had a bar in their house. And they did. They had a bar with the setup, with the
uh-huh.
post, like an actual bar. You go in the bar,
Yeah.
Right.
like
Yeah.
a
I know what you're
pub.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the glass mirror in the back, all the fifths on it. People used to come in there,
Yeah.
drink. Yeah, they got a little dance floor back there.
Like a
All of
social
the
club or
Oh
something.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the neighbor. They come over, you see them falling out. We over in there in the other part of the garage because they garage. They was fat,
Mhm.
so we in there. It's a cooler for the kids and a cooler for the adults. We sneaking trying to get Budweiser and beer and drinking, and we looking around. Be the lookout. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It
Yeah.
was going on, man.
But
Them big
shit,
quarter leg thighs, big
see,
meals.
and that's valuable though.
Yeah, so
You
that's
know.
what I grew up amongst, and everybody went home with to-go plates because they made so much food.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Right.
Southern cooking, that Southern value. So that's where a lot of my mannerisms come back. That's
Mhm.
why people be like, "Man, you so polite, you so this and that." That's the way I grew up. Mufasa's still in there,
Right.
but that's not who I am. I'm gonna protect myself if I have to, but I'd
Right.
rather kill you with kindness.
Right.
And not only that, then you got to deal with all the people that love me because how I move. They be like, "Leave him alone."
Right.
I
Hmm.
didn't have
Right.
dudes from other side of town like, man, you just too nice, man. I killed somebody about you. This is a Filmo cat telling me that. I'm like,
Right.
wow. He was like, man, you just hella cool. I never met nobody like you. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've been through so
Well, why
much.
not, man? It's good to toot your horn to be exclusive.
Nah, but the reason I say that is that I'm humble, I'm
Right.
balanced. I know it's good to be confident, and I'm very that.
Right. Right.
But I just like peace, man. I've been through so much. I turned my pain into champagne.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if I told a lot of people more in-depth detail about me or what I've been through, they'd be like, I'm surprised you're not on drugs. I'm surprised you're not an alcoholic. Because when you lose certain close people to you and values,
Hmm.
it's easy to go create another habit or problem, and they ain't gonna bring back what you lost. Whether it's a
No.
loved one, a relative, or whatever, you got to go out there and do good so they can see you from the heavens still, shining, because that's what they want you to do.
Right.
Because if you get with some folk that's in a spot and you're in a vulnerable place and they helping you create a habit or an addiction, once they help you get you that kickstart, they gone.
Right.
Yeah. For
Because
real.
so
Yeah.
then, so how is that gonna help you? It's
Right.
not.
It's
No, not
It's
at all.
destroying you.
right, and it goes back to what y'all two was saying earlier. The conversation straight a little bit, but you don't know what a person has done or had to do to obtain what we may see as grand material items. Um, you might think they got money, right? But motherfucker could be driving a $60,000 car, $20 in his pocket, and the gas
Hmm.
tank is empty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times they don't own them vehicles. They
Right.
just leasing them.
Yeah.
You
A
might
lot of
think that's
it,
they house.
Tell
They
me
renting
about
it.
it.
the credit. I mean, the cars in a dead person credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
we
Um,
we know all about
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
The
Man.
Yeah.
chicks running around with Birkin bags and ain't got $100.
Then
You know what I'm
sometimes
saying?
them bags be fake. They be
Yeah.
knockoffs.
And which ain't nothing wrong with that, because you know what? I met a white lady at my job, that said that she was like, I never buy authentic bags. Why? Can you tell this is fake? I said, no. She said, yeah, it is. It's $100 fake bag, and and see that's the whole thing. Don't get me wrong. We all like fine things, but like you guys were saying, we don't know what other people did to
Yeah.
obtain that, and
They might have sold their soul to get
right,
what they
right,
got.
and people are
Now you
doing
looking up
that
to
now.
them.
They doing that now, y'all. They just for 15 minutes of fame. Look at what think about y'all your life. Well, me and you around the same age, we 2 years apart. But you think about your life before social media. It wasn't everything wasn't this dire and dramatic.
Yeah.
You feel what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Because everybody
You
got everybody got a cell phone. Everybody got a camera with their cell phone. So
right.
anything that happened, they gonna put that on social media.
And you gotta try to be better than the next motherfucker that don't like you anyway.
So true.
That's some weird shit, Reese.
It is because for me personally, I like nice things, but they bore me. What's nice to me, a nice setting, agriculture with trails, you can walk, you can see the water,
Yeah.
nice plants, gardens, you can hike. That's what excites me
Right.
because a lot of people they act like they got it going on till you see them in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Need dental work,
Yeah.
bad hygiene, got
Yeah.
halitosis.
All that.
It's
Bunch
just
of
like,
teeth missing.
yeah, a bunch of you got, piano keys, I
Right.
call them. Got big six on their teeth. You know what I mean? What I mean by big six, them black dots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You ain't taking care of yourself, but you the man. Oh, yeah, look at me. But you got on this new outfit, but you smelling like the junkyard,
Right.
sewage plant.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I be saying, like, you know what I mean? They don't impress me. So, like, don't get me wrong. I like nice cars. I like all of that, but I like to let people think I ain't got nothing. Because the people that's flashy, those are people that's getting robbed all the time, getting followed
Yeah.
home
Right.
It
because you're
is.
doing too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? If anything, encourage people to be good and be great, regardless of what they have. Because I'm a say a quick story. Like on Palouse Street,
Mm-hmm.
used to hang out with a couple of homies. It was a young brother walking up and down the street with a backpack on. He was handling his business. He's like, "What's up, y'all?" You see him walking up and down the street on the bus. Next thing you know, I seen that young man driving up and down the street. So that was just a story within itself for us chilling right there. We had our thing where we was doing our day to day, but
Right.
when we got off work or whatever we was into, we'll see this young man walking back and forth from third up Palouse towards Lane Street. He'll be going somewhere, but you could tell he was from the neighborhood. But I championed that young man because I
Right.
seen him walking up and back with a backpack on to where he was walking to. Now he was eventually driving.
Yeah.
So that shows you right there that regardless of how people view you and don't know you, they don't know what you got going on.
Nah, they don't. Not at
Nah,
all. They
and,
can
and
just stereotype you and assume, but they don't really know what's going on unless you try to tell them. Then they gonna know.
based on the window dressing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's basically what they use to determine um, who you are and how valuable you may be to society. Like Max said in the interview, he told somebody he was coming to do our podcast, and a nigga gonna say, "Oh, Darren's who be wearing polo and eyes out." What the fuck that got to do with the price of tea and cheese?
I don't
That's
know.
envy. That's envy.
But shit, that's the shit that I've been wearing since I was in
I
Charles
love
Drew.
I love polo and
Yeah.
Izod. That's
But
Uh,
just,
but
I
yeah.
got
Reese,
on
we've been wearing that
polo
shit.
drawers and socks and
Yeah,
t-shirt
they
right now.
I've
comfortable.
been wearing that shit since I was in charge, a little kid.
Yeah.
When I got out of All Hollows, because my first school was All Hollows, which was a Catholic school, and we had to wear red
Uniform.
sweaters,
Yeah.
white shirt, and blue pants. We had to wear a uniform. When I went to public school, as soon as I touched public school, I was wearing that shit because that's polo been out since 1967. I can't even remember when Lacoste came out. And we used to, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Macy's had polo.
Uh-huh.
Emporiums.
Had the
See, a lot of people
Gators.
don't remember
I
Emporium
remember
I
Capital,
do
right?
Emporiums.
on Market Street.
Right.
Yeah, point
Emporium
across the
Cap,
street from
and they had one
Woolworth.
in Tanforan
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And,
Layaway plan.
right, and they
Yeah.
had the Gators.
And they had the nice dress shoes that we had to wear to church.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
and
Emporiums.
so it's crazy that simple shit like that is what people place value upon who you are.
That's
Exactly.
us though as a people. Them other races don't do that shit though.
Yeah, that shit means
That's
nothing
us.
to them.
I say
Yeah.
this to y'all, big bruh, both of y'all. The world love us, but we don't love us.
Yeah.
They want to be like us. They want to trend after us. They want to take what we do and look fly. And nothing against some other cultures. I love them, a lot of them, my
not
folks.
at all.
But it's just sad that how you'll see your brother, man, or your
Our people
sister.
do.
Yeah, you always want to get half off. But you'll pay them
Yeah,
other people
yeah,
full
exactly.
price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's sad. That hurts me because I say something to a brother, "How you doing, good brother?" "Oh, I ain't your brother." And you like, oh, I was like, okay, but we fighting the same struggle no
Absolutely.
matter where we are in the world, though.
Right.
But I ain't your brother. You know what I mean? I was like, it's cool.
Yeah.
God bless you and walk away. But sometimes you gotta feed them that energy that when they get away from that energy, that's a distraction
Mhm.
to see where you was coming from.
Right.
Like this gentleman approached me with positivity, but I'm so used to being around this negative energy, it got my mind
Yeah.
poisoned.
Right.
It's just like y'all was saying earlier, how before we started the podcast, how we don't support each other.
Mm-mm.
We don't
Nah.
do none of that shit. We need to support each other, like all the other races support each other. Like you say, they ain't gonna want to get behind you when you're doing good, but when you start off, and they think that you need them or whatever, then they want to support you. But then when you get to a certain level, then now they hating on you, or well, we can't even really say hating because it's their opinion, but they ain't supportive of you as you was when you first started. Now you got to a certain platform, a certain plateau. Now they don't want to support you no more.
But shit, a lot of times that shit could be in reverse too. A lot of motherfuckers don't even want to be affiliated with you when you want to come up when you striving. You know
Yeah,
what
Mm-mm.
I'm saying?
that's true too, because they only want to be there
Yeah.
with you
So
when you reach to the
it's
top.
right, and it's
Now you
both
my nigga.
ways. It's
Now I
both
know you. Now I
right,
done did
right,
this and
and
that and the
that's what's
third with
fucked
you.
up, right? It's both ways.
Y'all people a trip.
It's both ways, man. It's like
People a
like
trip.
you don't want to see a motherfucker come up, but then when I do come up, now I'm your best friend. You've been knowing me since X, Y, and Z, and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, man. But it's in our best interest, man, and to not really affiliate yourself with those type of motherfuckers. Even though they of our race and they black, they from the same place, some of the same
Yeah,
struggles,
yeah.
they will never be genuine to you. You know,
Sad
Ooh.
but true.
they'll never be genuine to you.
Mm-mm.
So, and the way shit is going now, like the little cat from Fillmore, the little rapper, what is Yee or whatever his name is, Lil Yee or whatever.
Heard of them.
You fucking with the cats in LA, they set you up to try to rob you. I mean, like you, you can't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's fucked up that we can't trust our own people, but
Mm-mm.
you can't.
Can't.
I mean, and it's just it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't fuck with niggas like I've been knowing you since you was a little tyke. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Oh
saying? You
yeah,
was a
no
youngster
doubt.
running around.
They know
Mad
you
So
for
love.
months and
I
Sundays.
know
Mm-hmm.
your
Solid.
whole. You know, if it's some weird shit about you, I'm gonna be surprised because I've never known you to be
Yeah,
that type of dude.
yeah.
You know
No,
what I'm
straight
saying?
up. To me, you is.
I've
Oh
I've
yeah. Oh
never
yeah.
known you to be that type of dude. So
Nah.
that's why I fuck with you. And you notice I fuck with certain motherfuckers that I can believe in them. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though I'm comfortable. Me and my brother could be comfortable sitting down talking with you or meeting you somewhere, and there ain't no bullshit going on. I just can't fuck with everybody, and I'm
Nah.
sorry, but that's the way it is. Because I gotta preserve my
Well, bro,
life.
we was told, you gotta be careful who you fuck with and who you don't fuck with.
Yeah,
Everybody ain't your friend.
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and to switch gears a little bit though, when did you finally realize, that you had this affinity and this love for music? When did that develop? Like, what age were you when that, you know, came about?
I say about 83, 84. I was real young, but I'm a big LL Cool J fan.
Mm-hmm.
Cause we dropped his first album, Radio,
Mm-hmm.
in '84.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what was so cold about that, my uncle, rest in peace, Big Said from
Oh
Sunnydale.
yeah, Big
You
Six
know
stayed
what I
on Sawyer.
mean? Yeah,
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 yeah.
hmm
yeah. Big
I went
Said.
to school with him.
He went to Woodrow Wilson.
No, we went to College Park because he got kicked out of Wilson. I got kicked
Your
out of
dad
White
went
Oh,
to a
County
few
okay.
high
Lincoln,
schools.
and yeah, we went to not to cut you off though, but it was a school we went
What
to.
was that? Right by state, huh?
Yeah, in the back of state
Yeah.
in the bungalow,
yeah.
way in the cut.
Continuation school.
Yeah.
Continuation, yeah, Big said with the white Cadillac.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So with the red interior, got that
Uh-huh.
from my uncle Greg,
Uh-huh.
one of his older brothers. I used to sneak in his room and listen to his rap tapes. He didn't like that. You know what I mean? He had Too Short and all of that different tapes. So believe it or not, my first tape
Uh-huh.
was Born the Mac with Freaky Tales and
Uh-huh.
all of that.
Uh-huh.
I'm young listening to this. My parents
Right.
used to buy it, let me listen. And my mom baby, he just doing too much cussing and this and that. So therefore I had got that one. So I always loved it rap
Mhm.
because I was around it. Like I said, I grew up in the 80s. So
Mhm.
with LL, one man band, like, instead of getting radio first, I think in 87 he dropped the Bigger and Deffer Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that first and then went back and revisited and got radio because that was with Deary Vet
Mm-hmm.
and Rock the Bells and all of that. So
Right.
I would always watch the rap stations and shows, and I remember seeing Crush Groove at a young age.
Yeah, that was one of my
Story,
favorite movies, man.
yeah.
Used to
So
go see
seeing the
that shit down
story,
there every weekend, man.
seeing the story of the Fat Boys, Run DMC,
Curtis Blow.
Curtis Blow, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde,
Mm-hmm.
where New Edition got their first cameo in that movie, Sheila E.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like a real hip hop historian. That's like I consider now as I'm older, I'm an MC. I'm not a rapper.
Yeah.
But
And how did you develop that though?
so basically, like when I was young, I'm gonna get to that. You know what I mean? When I was young, I used to listen to all these rap tapes and I used to learn the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Learn them, spitting them like they mine, and Run DMC and EPMD, they like two of my favorite hip hop groups. But when I got a little bit older, like I was like about 15 years old on Paloo,
Mm-hmm.
it was this guy named Johnny, and he had an older sister. And this is how I met Mo the Hustler.
Mm-hmm.
He used to date the sister. And I quit hanging with him and started hanging with Mo. And Mo rapped. So I didn't know that he rapped. And he had to show me his first rap called Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just spitting and he was real descriptive and detail in the rhyme about the Louisville bat.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, how you do that? He was like, I'm gonna tell you like somebody told me. It's like you having a conversation. And we was putting the words together.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. How did that come about? How did y'all, because everybody who don't know, you is a member of NOH, so.
I'm not one of the front man, but I get into that story. I'm like what Hitman was to Black Sea and Mr. C. I'm
Okay,
the
well,
little
well,
brother.
how did y'all come up with the group NOH then?
Oh, Motor Hustler. He like the RZA.
Niggas on High Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, NOH Mafia. NOH Mafia is a acronym for Niggas on High.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
so it's
Niggas on High
acronym.
Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
said nigga on High. Yeah, it's NOH Mafia, but
All right. Okay.
basically Mars from Harbor.
Uh-huh.
Got to give him his props. I like to tell the whole complete story.
Come on, come with it.
So basically, Mally Mal and Mo the Hustler. Mally Mal dad married Mo's one of his older sisters. So that's how they connected.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out to Mally Mal, Alias Music Group. And we used to go to Mars' house up on the Brown House as a harbor,
Mhm.
and we would record. And that's where we met Hitman and all of that, be recording all these underground tapes. So Mars used to take the tapes up on the block to Black Sea and let him hear them. So he fell in love the way with Mo flowing, his patterns, putting stuff together. And so basically, like, he's had Mars bring Mo and them up there. And then, Mo started hanging out. We started going to the studio they had on Folsom and all that. We was making all these underground tapes and all of that. So
The one that was by Food Code.
by Food Code.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, we used to go over there. I was still in high school at that time.
Oh,
So
okay. You
yeah.
young nigga still.
Yeah, I was still a young nigga.
Alright.
So therefore, it was because of Mo,
Mm-hmm.
and this is creative genius. And Black put him and Mally Mal, which is Malcolm,
Mm-hmm.
as a group, the two front man, as NOH Mafia, the actual two front MCs.
Okay.
So I'm like the younger brother, you know what I mean? A solo artist, but I rep NOH too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's sort of like how Hitman represent RBL,
Mhm.
but he was a solo act.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's what it was for me. I wanted to be more involved in what they was doing, but lyrically at that time, I can honestly admit I wasn't lyrically as advanced as them. I could rap. But as time progressed and got on, I turned into a beast because it was like sessions. We'd be up in there in the dungeon freestyling, and we met Mr. C around the time of Ruthless by Law. He has just got out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to the studio. Yeah, just got out and he was in there freestyling. It was just like man, you had to bring your best. You know what I mean? And that's how you got better. Shout out to Ty Stick. That's one of Mo homies. I was just meeting. It was like Mo brought this collective of all different MCs together, and we used to come over there and we freestyle. Like, that's why I'm such a good freestyler now and a writer. I mean, I would call it having both lungs.
Right.
Both lungs is writing ability and freestyle ability. Some people got one lung. They just can write or they're a good
That
freestyler.
is so true. Yeah. Because everybody don't freestyle.
Oh, I love to freestyle. That's why it's so easy for me to write raps. You know what I mean? So we just came a collective, man, and we dropped that album in '96. And I was 17, but I ended up just turning 18 because '96, that's when Pac died.
Yeah.
Because when Pac died, he was 25, and a week or so later, I turned 18 because my birthday is September 20th. Pac like passed away like September
Okay,
13th or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah,
Yeah, your
so
birthday right before mine. Mine's is 29th.
okay.
Yeah.
So NOH album dropped in October of '96. So I had the little street popularity, that one verse, the title track, NOH Mafia. People was hearing me. I heard you on that song and this and this and that. And my mind was blown. And I was just like, wow, this is like real. But you being young and you just seeing this like, little minor stardom and stuff like that, you're like, man, what I mean? This is dope. It was amazing. And I thank Mo. I thank Mally Mal. I thank Mars. I gotta give him his props because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't know Black Sea, you know what I mean, or Mr. C. He took them tapes over there. So I want to give him his credit on y'all show because you know what I mean. He a dope MC too. He talented. He make beats as well. So yeah, the creation behind NOH, that's Mr. Motor Hustler. He like the RZA. How he brought the Wu-Tang together. You know what I mean? So I salute that guy, man. He taught me how to rhyme. So when people would come over to his mama house just to see us freestyle,
Yeah.
they'd be in there trying to freestyle with us for a while. And then next you know, me and him is like Wimbledon, going back and forth, just killing it. Rapping over different beats. You know what I mean? People's songs with lyrics on it, killing them. Excalibur on some old Jedi type, hype. And I just great to be part of that actual legacy, man, because when people see my tattoos, they say NOH Mafia, people like, man, you part of that group? Which one are you? Mac Reese. But I end up turning into Reesematik, one of my Filipino homies that I met years later, he gave me that name. And the reason I switched my name is because it was another gentleman that I met in the club, because I used to be in the club all the time, and I seen him at Barnavale, 550 Barnavale over
Yeah,
there.
550
Space
Barber used to be
550.
lit.
And he had all these flyers laid
That
out
shit
with
used to
Mac
be lit.
Reese on it. And I'm looking and I'm like, wow. He was like, Reese. Some people coming up to me like, man, you got your name and this and that. And I seen him. We was talking. I was so disappointed because that's my name, because Mac Reese, that's my government name backwards.
Yeah.
It's a creativity with me. That's why I call myself Mac Reese. Yeah, at time I used to, do my thing with the ladies, but it was like that's actually my name backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I gotta change my name. So I changed the name and went to Reesematik. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the whole story to get up with that, good brother.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
what's up, man. Thank you
Yeah.
for letting the audience know. So how do you feel about today's rap? What you think it is, what it's like right now?
I would honestly say, in the most clearest form and fashion, it's a lot of talent out there.
It is.
I just feel like a lot of the
But
brothers need more guidance. They need to listen, and a lot of the older cats need to be, kind of patient with them and try to reach them one by one, and hopefully whoever the leader of the clusters,
mm,
they could get in their ear and separate them from that energy. Because everything ain't about drilling and killing and
yeah, see,
dipping and
that's
all of
what it
that.
seems like to
Yeah,
me.
but
They all beefing.
you know what though? We gotta blame the industry for that.
They giving them that money.
Not only that,
They giving them the
the
money,
money,
and they know they not educated.
and they know this, right?
The
Nah, not at all
This is what I
educated.
hear. You may
insurance
know.
policy, insurance
I was
Yeah,
policies.
about to
he was
say
about to
that.
speak on that.
See, I was about to say
Mhm.
you
I know
might know
that's
more
what you was
about that
going.
than me, but I heard they be having them niggas under insurance policies, knowing that these niggas finna, because everybody, like Biggie said in his song, and I'm not a Biggie fan by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. I'm West Coast the most. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I will give him his props.
Mhm.
He made some good songs, but my thing is you can't compare him to Tupac. That's like comparing Vince Carter to Michael Jordan. You just can't do it. He
Mm-mm.
had 2 albums. Pac had shit. How many?
We
10.
don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can't.
multiples.
That's silly. But that was just the East Coast way of saying we got somebody now because West Coast was kicking everybody in their ass at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it was. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking and saying Biggie was whack. No, I'm not saying that. So whoever Biggie fans out there, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is he rapped about one specific shit. Versace, Gucci, Gucci, Boo.
Clubs.
Pac could talk about anything.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? The comparison is stupid because Pac can talk about women growing up in the ghetto, the strife, dope fiends, being a Black Panther, gangster shit, designer shit, bitches, whatever Pac
His
wanted
mama.
to talk about, he talked about, right?
Yeah.
All Biggie talked about was really dressing, smoking weed, and fucking with bitches. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and think about this though, and this is what I'm saying. Think about this, Reese. I don't know if you remember because you was kind of young, but you know this meets for sure. Every time a West Coast artist put out a hit, it was always considered gangster rap,
Yeah.
not a hip hop classic. How the fuck is Jay-Z and Biggie hip hop classics with an East Coast version of gangster rap? The difference is Cuz Blood, Money B, yo. All that, what's the difference? It's the same shit.
Yeah.
But you know what's so crazy though? You know how we got that coined that term? The media. Because
That's
really,
what I'm saying.
because really it's considered reality rap.
Right.
Because they speaking about the
Right.
realities of the
Right.
neighborhood and stuff like that. So
Right.
therefore, I'm gonna give you some game on why it's like that. Hip hop started in the East Coast.
It did.
So basically, when it came to the West, they always felt a certain way because they know that's the Mecca.
But, oh, not to cut you off, but rapping actually started in the West. Yeah. Hip hop was a cultural thing with the breakdancing, the graffiti,
Yeah,
and
spinning
the
on your
MCing.
back, the
But
linoleum,
rapping,
all
that shit was some Black Panther. They used to speak and they would, with the bongos,
Yeah.
they was rapping. That shit started out here.
They just kind of coined it with DJ Kool Herc though.
Right.
What's that, like
Right.
73?
But ours was political.
So maybe they was
Yeah.
trying to segregate us from
Right.
them.
Ours
Calling our
was
shit gangster
political.
rap.
You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Ours was political. The Black Panthers and all of, you know, that shit started out in the West.
Yeah, in Oakland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't take that from it. I remember they used to have the Black Panther shit in the Point. They had a fucking headquarters in the Point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
They had a mural on one of them centers, I remember,
Yeah.
with the panther on it. I remember
they
seeing
had a
that.
panther that they would bring, a real panther that would come up in there sometimes
Wow.
in a cage.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? So I don't think it stayed in the Point. I think it probably rotated from
They moved it
site to
around.
site. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and free lunches and food and all that.
Yeah,
You know,
they
but
used to do that a lot.
right. So
Pass out
back to
lunches and
what I'm
shit.
saying, you know, is that when Pac died and Biggie died, right? The worst thing that we fucking did, the worst thing was run our asses to that motherfucking peace treaty shit in New York to go get
Who
Russell
did that?
Simmons
Yeah,
and
Russell.
Diddy in
That
the
was
mouth.
Russell Simmons with
Because
that
you know
shit.
what they see, and people gonna be mad at me, Reese, but I'm gonna keep it real with you because you know that's when
So?
we was active and right before we got busted and it fucked up our career. But we was on our way. A lot of motherfuckers don't want to give us our props, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I got a lot of shit that I did in the community besides rapping. But what I'm saying is we was on our way to go fuck with Rap A Lot and them at the time. You know what I'm
Mean
saying?
Green and
Yeah, with
Jay
Mean
Prince.
Green and then we was on our way. We was hustling, selling drugs to go get our flight money, our room money, and get this weed because the nigga wanted some weed
Yeah,
and a
we
few
selling
dollars
niggas
to
weed
put us
in
on, right?
Houston.
Because that's when the chronic, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
that
it,
was through the distributor, Mean Green.
right? Yeah, it wasn't out like it is now. The hydro shit wasn't cracking, so Cali had all the good weed. You know what I'm saying? So go anywhere else with this Cali weed, nigga, you hitting. So, but anyway, so. But I'm saying that was so we was on our way to do this, right? But what I'm saying is when we went to that shit, they gave up our fucking independent rights. People can talk bad about Suge Knight and all that, but one thing that nigga did, he showed us a pattern of how we can get our money independently and press these Jewish people, press these white people for the money that we deserve. You feel what I'm saying? The New York niggas didn't have that hustle, man.
Nah, they
that shit was later. That Dame Dash,
Yeah.
because Diddy didn't start with his own
Nah, 'cause
motherfucking money
most
and
of
no
the New York
bad boy. That
motherfuckers-
nigga sucked dick and did some other shit to get where he was getting. You know, fuck it. We gonna keep it on. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? It's stories out there about him sucking dick to get where he got.
Yeah, they wasn't on no independent
They
level.
wasn't on that.
Nah.
Come on, Reese,
They
you
didn't
know,
fuck around
you
being
saw what we
independent.
did. We sold drugs to do, and I'm not glamorizing this, y'all, but I'm just
Nah,
gonna
don't
keep it
do
100.
that.
We sold drugs to do what we had to do. We sold drugs and paid studio engineers to make our music. We sold drugs to go to the manufacturers and get our CDs and our tapes and shit pressed up. And then we sold drugs to be able to travel and go everywhere else and promote our own shit out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So we paying $1.25 for a complete CD, jewel case, artwork, everything. We sell it to the distributor for $7.50. That's 700% profit.
Yes, sir.
You feel what I'm saying? They took that from us.
Yeah.
And now it's streaming and the nigga can't make a quarter.
Ooh.
4,500 for 1 million streams?
Yeah, that
Fucking
ain't shit.
serious?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Highway robbery.
Yeah, that
Highway
ain't
robbery.
shit. Imagine you sold 1 million copies independently, how much money you gonna get?
Man, it's so fucked up now, though, Reese. And this is what we're getting back to how this part of the conversation started. These youngsters, y'all, they got these niggas paying part of their tour money. Nigga, back to the label.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because the label fronting them so much.
Yeah.
They fronting them so much, they got to make these niggas look like $1 million.
Yeah, because ain't nobody gonna buy your shit if you ain't looking like you doing something.
You ain't got all these goddamn chains
all
on and
the
all
diamonds
these
and
50
all that
fucking
shit.
bracelets on and
Yeah.
shit like a female. Nigga need one bracelet. Who the fuck wears 4, 5 bracelets on their arm as a man? Nigga, you wear one big bracelet.
And all them damn tennis chains they be having on them
Yeah.
Cuban links and shit.
You know
They
what I'm
got
saying?
3 links on.
And so they fucked
One
it up.
big enough to walk my dog with.
Right. And they
no
fucked it
sense.
up.
Yeah.
They fucked it up. So now, you know what I'm saying? It's in control of the powers that be, whether it be Jewish record label owners, white record label owners, maybe even Asian ones. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't really us. Look at what's going on now, y'all. Everybody out there, look at what's going on. Diddy was slated as a motherfucking billionaire. Now this nigga been in jail, what, 6, 8 months? Now they done knocked him down to about 300 million or something. That's his net worth. It wasn't his.
Nah.
It wasn't his.
Never was.
Net worth
not that they could take it from you that
net
easily.
worth is different than liquid.
Yeah, I know.
That's what people don't understand.
Net worth is like everything you
your
got.
Net worth
Cars,
may be $1 million
houses,
if you sold your daughter, your car,
your
everything,
house.
you know what I'm saying? Her life insurance policy,
Yeah,
all
all
that
that.
would be net worth of $1 million if you cashed out everything.
Man.
Yeah,
Not what you got in a motherfucking bank.
Yeah, they can strip you of that easy.
They can strip you of that.
They did Kanye like that too.
Nigga, we ain't fucking with you no more. Nigga, Beyonce and Jay-Z, the cognac shit they was doing. The motherfucker in France, I don't even want to be affiliated with them no more. Give me that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And see, it's don't get me wrong. For hip-hop to advance and be commercialized is a good thing. But it's commercialized and we put it in other people's hands. While we sitting here looking at these black people like they fucking kings and queens and shit to us, when they ain't doing nothing but kissing somebody else's ass in the first place. They ain't even an example of what the fuck we should be.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? They
Exactly.
really not, y'all. They not even an example of what the fuck we should be. I heard you go up and motherfucking whatever the fuck what is the dude Jay-Z shit called Rock Nation or whatever. They saying they ain't even know black people that pass the front desk. The receptionist black, you open the door, it's hella Jewish people in there. Why you think them niggas moving like that? Why they moving like Harvey Weinstein? Who was Harvey Weinstein? Is he a brother?
Hell nah.
Is he a brother?
Nope.
Nah.
Huh?
He definitely
Clive
not.
Davis, is he a brother?
No.
Nope.
Think about what I'm saying, y'all. We and that's where we fucked up. We praising the wrong people, man. First of all, we don't need to be praising rappers at all unless these motherfuckers really stand for something.
They don't need to be no role model.
How the fuck you gonna pattern yourself after that nigga with an 8th grade education? You fucking serious?
Because you probably only got a 5th grade
Enjoy
education.
the music as entertainment.
That's what it is.
Enjoy it as entertainment. I like that beat. It make my bitch like it. She like to pop her pussy to it, or coochie, or ass, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's slapping my car.
Yeah.
What it's entertainment.
They don't look at it like entertainment. They looking like they supposed to pattern themselves behind that shit.
Did you idolize a rapper when you was young? Fuck no, you like their music.
Like the music, because for me personally, rest in peace to my big brother Jay, because I was on a lot of East Coast rap. So when he brought that Easy E tape in, Easy Does It. It was the single.
Okay.
Had the 3 pictures of Easy, had them threes on them, Jordan with the Jordan fit, he had the curls showing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was turned out. But it never made me want to, I took it as a gangster movie on audio.
Yeah.
I didn't want to become it. I used to love the stories.
Right.
So therefore, I love movies.
Right.
So the stories they was telling, it was like, man, it was dope because it was well put together with that lyricism. Because the writers are Cube,
Yeah, Cuba, all easy
DOC.
shit. Yeah.
DOC, MC Ren.
Yeah.
So they wrote Easy E's Easier Said Than Done, the album that came out after Straight Outta Compton.
Mhm.
So, basically, like, I never idolized that because it was like I felt comfortable with being myself.
Right.
I was never a follower because I seen that you could get led to a dead end, a brick wall. You know what I mean? Trying to be like somebody you're not. I'm not this, I'm not that. I don't care.
And that's what I'm saying is the worship of rappers right now is
Worship false gods.
it's atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing here right now? You know what I'm saying? What happened to the guy that's really trying to make a change for black people for real? Not a motherfucker who's selling us out. Not a motherfucker who tell Jermaine Dupri, nigga, don't fuck with the NFL and did take the same job.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of the X-Clans, the Public Enemies,
Yeah.
the Arrested Developments,
Yeah.
the Tribe Called Quests,
Right.
all of that because them brothers was coming with that flavor, empowering the people.
Right.
We as of a people,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I know about all that, fight the power, can't trust them and shut them down. And then the Hour of Chaos, which is one of my favorite Public Enemy songs. Got a letter from the president the other day. I read it and said they were suckers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want that, their empowerment.
Right.
So therefore, that's what's so sad with the young brothers. They so separated. And you got a few cars, a little bit of money, and you know what I mean, all of that. We don't like them over there, and this and this and that. And it's so sad how they just corrupted.
Yeah.
They get this money, they bipping, they stealing, they, you know what I mean, claiming they gangster, kill somebody, go to jail, and tell on everybody.
Yeah.
Like Meech, and just like this though, Meech, look at how they pattern themselves. Like the dudes right now is cat fighting like women.
Yeah.
In the industry.
That's why I had
The
mentioned
women
that.
is linking up, even if they don't like each other. These females, like whoever leading them, or if they lead themselves, I don't know. But they like, fuck it, we gonna get some money, girl. And they jumping on tracks together.
Yeah, because the females is winning right now in the rap
They
industry.
is.
Niggas
They
is fighting
is.
each
They
other
is,
like
for real.
women, man.
Yeah, we say that all the time.
These niggas is cat fighting.
Niggas
Yeah,
is
they
cat
do.
fighting, and the females coming together,
These niggas online.
and they winning.
Why is you disrespecting a nigga online? Nigga, check the nigga when you see him. Fuck is you online with this shit for? Going back and forth and shit like hoes. Nigga, I ain't going back and forth with no nigga online because I'm not finna tell on myself. Because I know, nigga, you disrespect me enough. I know what I'm finna do, so I ain't even finna go back and forth.
You really
with
gonna do something? You ain't
Yeah.
gonna put that shit on social
Hell
media.
nah.
Like if I'm talking shit on social media, I'm laughing. Me and this nigga laughing at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny to me.
I'm
And
not gonna
getting
tell you.
shit-
I'm gonna
but
go
if
do
I'm
something
mad,
to you on
I'ma
social
shut
media.
down. I ain't even getting on there.
Cause you
'Cause
gonna
now
have to
I'm
do
looking
it.
for you, nigga.
Yeah, you gonna have to do it, and you done
You know what I'm
put
saying?
yourself on
Now
blast.
I'm looking for you, nigga. So I ain't finna tell on myself, yeah, nigga, what, nigga, fuck that nigga. I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
If I'm talking shit on
that's
social
dumb as
media, it's
fuck.
not serious. I'm laughing. It's a joke. Now, if I
Man.
ain't
Hold on,
saying nothing,
but
that's
the-
when your stupid
That,
ass
that
words.
mean though that these niggas on here talking that shit, they really ain't gonna do nothing. Then they just talking.
Yeah, they just
They just talking. They ain't gonna do shit.
They-
Cause us for real, we ain't gonna say we gonna do something and on social media
No.
give you the heads up and then go do it to you. So
Yeah.
basically, these niggas don't
I
really
ain't
got
even finna tell you
no
what I'm gonna do
intentions
in
on
your
doing
face,
shit.
let alone on
Yeah.
social media.
If something happened, they know who to look for.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Like, look-
I'm gonna warn you about what I'm about to do to you.
On social media from thousands and millions of people to see.
Make it make sense, cause that show the fuck
But
don't.
that's that's the pattern that's being played out. Like, don't get me wrong, I like 50 Cent, right? 50 Cent is funny.
Yeah, that nigga's a
right?
goddamn fool.
He's funny to me, right?
He goddamn fool.
But
yeah.
look at what's going on. Like you got Rick Ross and shit up there. Man, come on, Officer Ricky. Officer William.
That's his
his
name.
Robert Williams.
William
Robertson.
Yeah.
William
Robertson, something.
Yeah,
Robertson.
William Roberts.
But he
or
was
something.
a CO. We all know that.
Yeah, they got
so-
pictures of him.
Yeah,
Right.
I
so
seen it.
now you sitting up here and you broke. We all know 50 ain't broke. And this nigga got fucking stars deals. Like but that's bitch shit to me. To
Mhm.
me, that is. I mean, I'm not calling these niggas bitches because I don't know them. But I'm saying the moves that you're making
The
is
bickering.
that bickering shit and online and back and forth. That's bitch shit to me. And the nigga 50, he pokes everybody. He
Yeah,
does
if
that.
he don't like
You
you,
know, that's his thing. You
he
know what I'm
fucks with
saying?
people.
That's how he made it. That's how he came into
Industry,
his
how to
career.
rob the industry.
Yeah, he came in shutting shit. They shut Ja Rule down in a matter of
Exactly. I was
6
about to
months.
say that. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Man.
saying? So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but
Fuck Ja Rule whole career.
right,
Up.
but that's the pattern these niggas is taking, y'all. Every nigga got beef with another rapper somewhere. Now it's really spilling over to where hella rappers is getting murdered. Not just the Biggie and Tupac shit, because that shit spilled over into gang society in Los Angeles, and that's when it got out of control. You know, when they got the Crips and the Bloods involved in this shit, that was a bloody war without rap. So you know what it was gonna be with the niggas with a few dollars over bus fare on each side. It was gonna be bloody. You know what I'm saying? But these niggas, y'all can't make it without funking with another nigga and cat fighting.
Man.
So now you really don't mean the shit you saying, but now you gotta
Not really.
do it.
Yeah, because you done put it on social media and shit.
Exactly,
So
little
now
bro.
you got to prove a point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's sad, man.
That's sad.
Yeah, sad
Yeah,
but true.
that's why I can't really embrace it like I want to. Like I'll check and listen to a little bit. Some of the beats be tight, but it's just like I'm not better above nobody. I just mentally, I just on a whole nother level.
Right.
It ain't feeding me. You know what I mean? I like stuff that I can learn from.
Right.
You know what I mean? That can
Right.
educate me. Because I don't pop Molly. I don't do this. Never
Yeah,
have. That ever been my
that's
thing.
fashionable. That's like for us, I mean, you know, saying you a dope fiend.
Yeah, exactly. You glorifying,
Yeah.
destroying yourself.
See, that's why when you called us to pull up to your video shoot, which we're gonna talk about that in a minute, had a wonderful time, bro.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
appreciate
You
that.
know,
Can't wait till it come
but
out,
we
man.
was there.
Yeah.
We
I
there
was
because
there.
we respect you for being genuinely Reese.
Man, I mean a lot.
You ain't never been no other type of dude than the dude you are right now today. You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you ain't got, you ain't got to be gangster and rah. You know, your brother was with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Rest his soul, but that was
Yeah,
our
that's
nigga.
my guy.
That was
Yeah,
our nigga.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
up there with us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
He
sure,
was up there
sure.
with us on
No
the daily.
doubt. No
You know what
doubt.
I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you never was that guy, and you never tried to be. You know what I'm
Wasn't
saying?
my
You was
thing.
always you, always Reese, respectful. Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, I always
Smile
speak
on your
to you.
face, man. Head held high,
You
man.
know, ain't got
And
nothing to do with
yeah,
rap music, nigga. I see you on
yeah,
the
we
streets. I'm gonna
respect
stop
that,
and
man.
talk to
And
you. We gonna
I
speak
wanna,
to each other,
I
nigga.
just want to make sure you know that. I think you do know it, but I want to reiterate that for everybody, the listeners, watchers, and everybody else. We respect that about you, brother. You know what I'm
Appreciate that
saying?
love.
Yeah.
For
We
sure.
really do, because being genuine is kind of like a lost art right now.
Yeah, because what's real to me is fake to them, and what's fake to them is real to me. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's hard
And
for
we
us
respect
really
you,
to
you
be a
know,
real
like,
nigga right
man,
now.
I gotta have y'all my OGs. Y'all was an inspiration to me back in the day. You know how that make me feel? What did I say when I walked in there? I love to see y'all doing this.
Yeah.
Man, it
Yeah.
said made me want to do a video.
Yeah. That's what made me want to do another video, because I love to
Yeah.
see y'all do, and to know that the little shit we did back, we had one motherfucking album, one EP, you know what I'm saying, in a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? To know that it touched you in that way, to even be part of what generated you to even do the shit you doing, man, I'm proud of that, man. I can sit back and hold my head
Yeah.
high. Like, man, I helped influence a younger man who was a solid young man not to be on no criminal. I didn't influence him to do what I did, pick up drugs and guns and do
Nah.
it. No, I influenced him to do something proper with himself.
You see, that's why when I seen your video, I shared on my Facebook.
Man, that
Yeah.
I
meant a
shared on
lot.
my Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Man.
fucks with
You know
you.
we love you, bro. Cause
Add
I mean,
followers,
you
add
always been
highlights.
you,
I'm
man.
trying to touch some people with this
You
motherfucker.
always been you, bro, and
Man.
that's a commodity, man. That's priceless.
Yeah.
What's so sad about that? I appreciate that, man. That's like really touching, like, you know, on a whole nother level, because I didn't showed a lot of people love, like, you know what I mean? Like literally.
Right.
And it's to the point it burnt me out, because I'm showing you love, I'm giving you ideas.
You
You
don't
should
get that
do
love
this,
back.
that. So when I didn't get it back, I was like, why is it different now that I'm putting the energy I was putting into these other things into myself?
Mhm.
Because I'm a creative thinker
Mhm.
and I believe in what I do.
Mhm.
It's a problem now.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm like looking at something wrong with me. Like,
So,
why
you know,
when I do it, it's
some
something
people
wrong.
put a ceiling on your talent, man. They don't want to get you to, don't want you rather to
Your
get to a certain level.
your possibilities can be intimidating to people.
Yeah. Some people put
You just
ceiling
got
on
you got to understand that. You got to understand that. Take this from your big homie, bro, for real. Your possibilities can be intimidating to motherfuckers.
you.
And
I
that's
never thought of it like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I've been faced with that my entire life. You know what I'm saying? My entire life. So I know what that's like. It's like, don't let them niggas get too big
Yeah, then you
Man.
might change the whole dynamics of what they
to
doing.
where they don't feel comfortable with
Yeah.
the fuckery they doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
You bring reality back into the
Yeah,
fold,
that's
the
what I say.
fuckery is exposed.
That's why I say what's real to me is fake to them.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fake to them.
Yeah, that's
It's real to
scary in
me.
a way because a lot of these people I really look up to and admire. Not look up to it to where I look at them for guidance,
No, just
but I
as
love them for what
older,
they do.
right?
You know what I mean? How they move.
Right.
So I met Big Daddy Kane before.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So he told me, he was like, the best thing is to be a trendsetter. And I basically reflected back to him because when you follow trends, when that trend burned out, you burn out with that
Yeah,
trend.
yeah. You gotta start your own shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why that stuck with me. So I did a lot of things like people don't know about.
Right.
I used to be all in Hollywood, all of that. You know what I mean?
You're using the movie. Yeah.
I was in Straight Outta Compton. I was an extra. You probably can't see me, but I was there. You know
Right.
what I mean? I was on the $300 million movie set.
Right.
So therefore, you know what I mean? I was seeing all of these things. A lot of people don't know.
Right.
I met Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson daddy. I met Jermaine Jackson.
Mhm.
I met Rebe Jackson, beautiful lady, the oldest of all the
The
Jackson
older
kids.
sisters,
Yeah.
right.
The oldest
Yeah.
with the song Centipede. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
we know you talking about. Yeah, we know.
so it's like, yeah, it's been a blessing, man. I did a lot of things before social media that haven't been captured on
Right.
camera.
Right.
It was to the point I was moving around so crazy. Be like, you everywhere. Like, you know how 40 Watt to say I'm everywhere like air? That was Reese. I
Right.
was everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it was to the point I was everywhere. I was seeing some of the same people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like with
And
different clothes on.
Yeah.
and all that is it's experience that helps you
Yeah.
out, and it grounds you and molds you into what you will become. You know what I'm saying?
Stay
Yeah.
active.
So
I'm a little nervous though, I ain't gonna lie.
well,
And
that's
the
normal.
nervousness come from that I wanna, put out great work. And I
Right.
wanna, build up my catalog because a lot of my music I got that's up, it's with other individuals.
Right.
So what encouraged, what I'm doing now is a lot of people like, I like the way you rap. We want to hear you by yourself. We like you on the songs that you're on.
Yeah.
But when your verse
What
come
was some
on,
of those songs?
so I got a song with King Riggs. I got songs with Motor Hustler.
Mm-hmm.
I got songs with a guy named De Niro, a guy named Rameezy, Benny Owens, who else? My boy Harv Hustle out
Okay.
of Texas, you know. Those all up on social media platforms people could check out. But yeah, not saying them brothers not dope, everybody I mentioned, but it's like something about the way people love the way I connect my bars, my wordplay. It's like it's different. You know what I mean? It's lyrical
Right.
Yeah.
and you can relate and you can vibe with it. And I guess the way, and I can't forget my boy Sandpaper. We got a song lyrical. I wrote the hook on that. But yeah, I guess the wordplay what excites them. It
Well,
makes them want to hear more.
Yeah, you are creative, man. Like, now we're about to talk about the video shoot because
Yeah,
like I said,
you
we had-
do
we
got
had a wonder- we
some
had a
some new
wonderful
shit
time.
coming out
Yeah,
there.
and
Basically.
their creativity was, it was off the hook, bro. Like, cause we do shit like that. If you trip off our last video, "Ride for Me," right? Our little sister, that's our little sister singing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
That's my
never knew
sister.
y'all had a sister.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
sister.
Thought it was
singing.
just y'all.
Nah,
Now I got a sister.
yeah,
Okay.
she's
Yeah, a little sister.
36.
Okay.
Yeah,
She the
my
one
son
singing in
age,
the
but
video.
my son the same.
So yeah.
Yeah, but that's her. So, and if you look at the long version, you see how cinematic we got, like the shit you was doing.
Yeah, like
Mm.
like
You know,
you do directing.
Right.
We did some directing
Yeah.
also.
Wow, that
yeah.
was fun.
And
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and
yeah.
the creativity, we recognize that. Because
Mhm.
that's what we do. We don't like boring ass straight video where we sit up there, one space standing there holding a bottle or something rapping. That's stupid.
Nah,
You know what
man,
I'm
you,
saying?
you gotta have it like a
Because we too old for
a
that.
moral to the story,
Yeah,
man.
we too
Yeah.
old for that. So we wanted to be a movie a short movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a 10-minute movie. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's you know, and we see that.
Yeah,
We see that.
we came up with that vision too. Like how
Right.
you came up
Yeah.
with yours and you
Oh
was doing
yeah.
directing. That
I
was
didn't
us.
write nothing down either. It was all off
Right.
the head.
And man, and we enjoyed ourselves, man. And I can't wait for you to release that motherfucker, man. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
had fun, man.
I
And
did
like I
too.
said,
Yeah, I
it
had a nice
inspired,
time.
man. We talked about that shit, man. We was like, man, damn, that was fun, man. You want to do another one, man? We still got a couple songs we can make a bit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And that's how we was thinking. And see, this is crazy. I mean, look, we inspired you, but then you turn around and re-inspired
Yeah,
us.
that's how I was always taught,
Ah.
iron sharpen iron.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
so
yeah.
Look at how it come full circle.
yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
Because now we really is gonna do the video.
Yeah, we is.
Ah.
You'll be there.
You'll be there.
Okay,
You
Yeah.
gonna
okay.
get an
Thank you.
invite, bro. You
Yeah.
most definitely you gonna get
You
an
know,
invite.
but
So
but see, that's real nigga shit.
Oh yeah, because when you pulled up, and I was like, because my glasses got broke, so I'm looking. I was like, that dub. Oh yeah, man. I'm just fresh off work.
Hey man, I
getting your gear
told
ready.
yeah.
And then when I seen Meech pulled up, I was like, wow,
you
that
know I
was
had to come.
that was a blessing. Like, cause I'm asking with Brad, like,
Yeah.
you
I
know what
said
I
he on his
mean?
way.
I'm on my way.
And I was just like, wow, and it just like I was just excited. You know what I mean? Because that's why I bought food, I bought
Right.
Yeah,
drinks and
yeah,
all that.
Yeah.
Show my appreciation.
Right.
for
I
sure.
didn't eat none of that food.
Right.
I had a
Yeah, I
couple
did.
sips. That
Yeah.
Casamigos.
Yeah, you don't leave
I
with a
don't know if
couple.
I was. I don't know
Ooh,
if I was there from the beginning of it, but I know I was damn sure there to the end of it. I might have did a
yeah,
little bit before I got there, but I
yeah,
stayed till it got dark. I had
yeah,
a nice
yeah.
time.
We
Yeah,
had a
I
ball,
had a
man.
nice
It was
time.
fun. It was
Right.
like all my brothers came. I ain't seen in a while, and
Mhm.
it was just like dope, man. It was touching because what's so crazy how this all came about.
Mhm.
Riggs,
Mhm.
King Nasser Riggs, that's my brother. He produced the whole EP.
Right.
He came to me in a space where I was kind of in a slump at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was still doodling, but I write rhymes in my head all the time. I'm one of them. Like, I'll be connecting bars all the time. I just be living life, but I'm still always writing in my head.
Yeah.
So he was like, dude, what have you ever thought about me doing the whole, EP or something on you or whatever? And I was like, man, I don't know, bruh. And that's when I was in that slump and didn't want to, really like do nothing. I had just kind of moved back from Vegas. I was out here, going through it, different things. I was in a rut. I was in a space. And he was like, Reese, bruh. He was like, you dope. He was like, man, you need to, I think if we
Yeah.
do something, man, you should put something together. And I was like, okay, man. I was like, all right. So he sent me the first track, which
Mm-hmm.
is the one we shot the video for, The Hate Is Real.
Mm.
That's how that came by. I was got the made that hook and started coming out. And I knew for some reason when I made that actual song, The Hate Is Real, I knew that was gonna be my favorite song off the project because I was just speaking about things of how, the hate be when you just yourself and you got so much love for people and the hate be real and they just be showing these different forms of formula how they hating on you and be blatant about it and trying to hide and cover it up. So that's why I can't wait till people hear this song of what I'm saying of the hate is real. So I dropped that song and then I connected the other couple tracks on the song. And then Riggs helped me with the title to the project too. Like man, I gotta give him his props. Like
Uh,
that's one thing. That's
It's
why I
a
call
good move.
myself an MC. An MC is never afraid to give another MC his props, his
yeah.
credit, because everybody influenced.
Right.
That's why a lot of dudes are just rapper. Everything me, 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 me. I'm not that. I'm an MC because everybody's inspired by somebody. So he put the to whom it may concern. So the to whom it may concern goes to whoever got something to say, whoever feel a
Okay.
certain way. That's
Right.
why it's to whom it may concern. So the whole thing with the haters real, that actual video, the whole concept of that was me and one of the homies sliding. And we pull up on our homeboy Resurrector. Shout out to
Mhm.
Players Only. You see him geared up. Y'all get that on camera.
Yeah.
Players Only down in Pittsburgh, man.
Go cop your fits.
Go
Yeah.
cop you something.
I got a few of them.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
do.
So basically, we pull up to a spot and, I'm telling them about the project and this and that. I'm trying to get my mind right. So The Hate Is Real is the name of the song, and this clothing store is called Players Only.
Mhm.
So we pull up to a spot where players are congregating.
Right.
Everybody vibing, having a good time. We drinking, shooting the shit,
Mm-hmm.
drinking, shooting pool, vibing, and ain't no hate. So it's like kind of like a safe haven
Yeah.
to be away from the negatives that's out in the world. So that was the whole thing of that pulling up, the whip pull up. You know what I mean? See that door open, that fresh Nike step out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They see the whole body raise up out the car. That's all me.
Right.
That was my vision. You know what I mean? All
Yeah,
of
he
that.
made it come to life. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of people see that. They were like, man, we want to see the video. When y'all walk through the door, it cuts off. So that's why you got to see what happens next.
They
When
just
you run
gotta
to the
just gotta
dust.
wait a little bit longer, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
Video be out soon enough.
So what you got coming out after that? What we got to look forward to, man? Coming from
Oh
you.
yeah, it don't stop there.
Yeah.
So basically, I'ma actually I'm just gonna give the actual date of the To Whom It May Concern because I know a lot of people want to know when
Mhm.
it's coming out. They're like, "Oh, he taking." Well, it's coming. It's coming out on April 18th, 2025, on my brother's birthday. You know what I mean? It's that this project To Whom It May Concern is dedicated to my big brother Jay. So that's when I'm gonna drop it, the video, the EP, all of that. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna get this 4-pack wine cooler. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That bar, that was that
Bartle and James.
Barlam and
Barlow
James.
James.
Y'all gonna get it. It's flavor.
That's
But
right.
it don't stop there. So we got The Hate Is Real as the first single. And then the next single is Which Way.
Okay.
Oh, jamming. Oh, yeah, that's definitely jamming. Which Way? Oh my God, that's crazy. I'm talking that talk on there, boy. Ooh, on Which Way, but it don't stop there. So when I, promote the To Whom It May Concern, that 4-pack wine cooler, when I get done with that,
Mhm.
promoting that,
Uh-huh.
I got a whole nother project.
Mhm.
And it's produced by the big homie, Motor Hustler. You know what I mean? I want to call it Motor Hustler Presents Reesematik.
Right.
And the reason of that is because, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm his protege because he did teach me a lot.
Mhm.
And it's all his production.
Right.
And
And
I
homage.
already got tracks already done. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy. And my guy Double D is gonna be on there. You know what I mean? We definitely
Yeah.
gonna put the big
Yeah, I know.
homie on
I
that.
gotta put my cameo down
Oh
for you.
yeah.
I
Okay.
gotta do that
So
for
I
you.
got more in the tank. Oh, it don't stop.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell the people how they could get in touch with your music? You know, your Instagram, Facebook, or something, so they can sit there and follow you.
Oh yeah, basically Reesematik, REESEMATIK. It's all one word on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
don't,
make sure that pop up on there.
yeah, so
Yeah.
basically nothing against TikTok and all of that. You know what I mean? Mad love and respect to them. I have nothing against some social media platforms. It's on I got music on Spotify, Apple Music, because the songs I done did with people. So I'm registering all of that to make sure my name and all of that pops up on anything I'm involved in. So Reesematik, Facebook or whatever, y'all feel free to like, share, subscribe. It's your neighborhood superhero. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The people's champ. You know what I mean? Always rooting for the people and showing love. And y'all stay good and stay blessed because there's nothing wrong with being positive. See, that's the problem with folk. They think it's a problem with being positive and always trying to be something they not. Like if you got a reputation or a rep, you this and that. But a lot of people love to see you be in trouble and get caught up. But then again, when you're behind them bars in that cell by yourself, they ain't coming to see you.
Sure the hell ain't.
Nope.
Uh,
They ain't accepting no phone calls. They ain't writing
Nothing.
you. They ain't doing none of that
And
shit.
let you become a paraplegic, be in a wheelchair. They ain't gonna help you come wipe your rear end. They ain't gonna do none of that. They gonna just be like, oh, good brother, and this and that. Oh, you was a soldier, you was a rider. But now you over there can't do nothing. You know what I mean? You looking out the window, or you know what I mean, you can't get up and walk around like you want to. Can't get up in the middle of the night in your drawers and go to the kitchen and drink out the jug or something,
Nah,
whatever you
yeah.
want to do. Can't do none of that.
yeah, I never know how much of a blessing that was to wake up in the middle of the night and go to the refrigerator,
Oh
man, and grab
man.
me something cold to drink till it was taken away from me.
Yeah,
Oh
then go
man.
back to sleep and lay down, go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I say that not to pigeonhole nobody or belittle anybody. I just feel like it's a lot of folk out there that's great, but they choose their gift and their talent to be negative and want positive results from being negative. That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with being positive. And just for you folks out there, just because you see people doing things and acting like they got money and they rich until you see them in person.
Yeah.
It's a whole different story. So it ain't nothing wrong with telling your brothers and sisters that got a gift and a talent like you that they dope. I love what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Don't wait till you see them in person. Then all of a sudden you talking about I see you, and I be seeing you moving. You got motion and this and that, but you don't click the like button. But it's sort of like you just spying on me and looking at me, but you're afraid to give me props. Cause I'm gonna give props, I'm gonna give fire emojis because I like the hustle and everything you're doing. So it's like at the end of the day, it ain't no hate in my blood. And I know I'm a dope MC. And people could take it however they want to, but I don't lose no sleep at night because I don't see nothing out there that's got me like, wow. I see a lot of, oh no.
Yeah, I do too.
And with that being said, man, we're gonna wrap it up like this here, right? What he said is true. It don't cost you a dime to hit like, subscribe, or share.
Yeah,
That
I
shit is
share my
free.
nigga shit.
That shit
Oh
is
yeah,
free.
for
I
sure.
share my
And
nigga
if you
shit.
really got love for somebody, love for this podcast, love for his music,
Barrier
share it,
Podcast, baby.
subscribe,
Yeah,
like it. It only helps.
I
It
like
doesn't
Bay
hurt.
Area podcast. I like the other shit he be
Yeah.
doing.
You know?
It's my
But-
guy.
Right.
Oh,
So with
yeah.
that being said, y'all, it's another one like the other one, man.
Shout out to the cameraman too.
That's right.
I ain't seen nobody
Hey,
give
man,
him
that's my
props
guy,
yet.
man. The
Yeah.
boy bad, man.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Hey, y'all look him up. Bay Area Podcast, man. The boy's bad. He works wonders, man. Hey, look at what we doing right now.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thunk it? But
Yeah.
but like with that being
Yeah.
said, right?
To
it's
whom it
another-
may concern.
That's right.
April 18th, 2025. To whom it may concern, the hate is real. Single dropping as well.
The Davis Brothers is in the video, so
Yes.
y'all
Oh,
get a dose
yeah.
of
So
us up in
download
there.
it, man. Support this man music, man.
Shout out to Players Only. My
Players,
boy.
yeah. Players only.
Resurrector.
Resurrector. Shout out to King Nasa Riggs and my cousin
Yes,
Big
sir.
Mac.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
No, shout out to Black C, RBL Posse. I'm gonna
Yes,
give him
sir.
his props too. Motor Hustler,
Mhm.
Mally Mal, Alias Music Group, Tie Stick. I'm giving props right now because I want to make sure they know that I love them. I don't talk to a lot of them, but those still my brothers. Like, you know what I mean? Shout
They
out
gonna
to
see you on
Mars.
here.
Shout
They
out
gonna
to
most
Mars.
definitely see you.
So all of them brothers right there, my boy Rod Measley too. And also can't forget my baby girl, Young Pieces. Pedals Pieces.
There you go.
Daddy see you, baby.
All right, y'all. So this is another one, man, with the Point Makers Podcast, the Davis Brothers, Darren,
Demetrius.
and we out of here, man, with our guest speaker today, Reesematik.
Uh-huh.
We out of here, man. Another one like the other one. He gave y'all all the information, man. Y'all go look this man up, support and download that good music, man. If y'all want to hear some positive vibes, that touch
Very
you, man.
dope MC.
Very dope MC.
Very
man.
dope MC.
And we out of here. Everybody be good, be safe. We love y'all. Thanks for the support. See you.